Meet Miss Anita Kelly. She's a high school science teacher. Miss Kelly used to live in the suburbs, but she felt called to serve those less fortunate and recently started teaching at Academy Prep, an inner city school. She knew it would be tough to teach these students, but it proved difficult in ways she didn't even imagine. Back in the suburbs, her students seemed to think for themselves and creatively make sense of new challenges. Here, the students were learning by rote, memorizing science facts without understanding concepts, and learning math formulas without understanding how they worked. Mr. Warren Travis was the principal at Academy Prep. One day, Miss Kelly asked him what to do, but he was stumped. Academy Prep was notorious for poor performance. In fact, the school was warned that if attendance and performance on standardized tests didn't improve, eventually the school would be shut down and the students would be transferred out. Anita, these kids just don't learn. We teach them all the facts, but they just don't get it, Mr. Travis told Miss Kelly. They need to think for themselves, Warren, not just master the facts, Miss Kelly said. We need a constructivist approach where they make their own meaning. They need to be creative. I think we can find a way to do that. Miss Kelly began at once to think harder and research all she could about ways to teach students to be more creative in thinking for themselves. The topic that most struck her was called design thinking. Design thinking apparently was a way to describe how designers think creatively to solve problems and make new products and services. Through design, people apply knowledge from many different disciplines. Maybe, she thought, this would help students to learn the other school subjects too, like math, reading, and science. Maybe this would help kids better think for themselves and to succeed in school and beyond. After doing her research and taking some design thinking workshops developed to teach non-designers this important skill set, Miss Kelly was ready to begin. One day, she announced to her class, "Put away your textbooks. We're going to solve some real problems. We're going to learn to design a solution to a problem, and through that work, you're going to learn some great thinking skills. First, we're going to get some inspiration and figure out what problem we want to solve. Then, we'll come up with some ideas to solve that problem and test them out. Finally, we're going to make something that people can actually use and value. This isn't going to be like regular schoolwork at all. Get ready though. It's going to be messy, confusing, and challenging. But it will also be fun and worth it. You guys will learn a ton. What are some problems in school you all are inspired to tackle?" Students listed all the things they were excited about. No more homework, better cafeteria food, more gym time. When put to a vote, it was clear. The class chose to improve the cafeteria food. They started at once to research and interview students, teachers, and cafeteria staff. They made drawings and models of what they learned to better understand their data. They quickly came up with ideas about what the problems and solutions were. Not surprisingly, it wasn't as students first thought, and the quality of food was actually one of the least troubling problems for people at school. "Kids don't have enough time to eat. We should make lunch longer. But if we make lunch longer, there won't be time for class. There's too much waste of food. We should ban throwing things out. But if we do that, people just hide the trash elsewhere. People don't follow the rules how you think they will." Miss Kelly jumped in. "This is an example of a wicked problem. Lunchtime has lots of moving parts and involves people, so it's bound to be complex and messy. There's no one problem to pin down, so there's no one solution. You can't really solve school lunch. There's no right solutions, only ones that are good, bad, better, and worse. Before we try to come up with solutions too quick, let's look deeper into the problem, and that will point to an even better solution. The students continued their research and interviews, and then they synthesized what they learned into insights. They jumped again into trying to create solutions based on their insights. Hold on, Miss Kelly said. You guys are making snap judgments. Do you remember what we talked about? The primary and instinctive way people think is to make and follow patterns. If you jump right in like that, you're likely to fall into the same ways of thinking that made these problems in the first place. Right, one student said. We need to do some lateral thinking to get out of those ruts. Get out the dictionary. Pick a word. What is it? The word is class. Ha! That's funny. As if we'd make lunch into a class. Don't be quick to judge, said Miss Kelly. What would it look like if we did? Funny enough, after some deep thinking, that's just the solution that the class tried out. They developed prototypes of what lunch would look like if it was a little bit more like a class. They organized and tested their plans out, one lunch period at a time. In a way, they learned more about the problems with lunch through testing their solutions than they learned through the initial research. When they were finally ready, the class pitched their lunch redesign proposal to the principal. It seems like lunch is so short, and the school just lines us up to eat and then get back to bookwork. But we think there's more opportunity here than that. After all, our meals at home with family are special. Why not here? We can rotate our assigned tables and actually get to meet new kids. We can have lunch and learns with special guests who we want to meet and learn about. We could even have fun and learn to cook and learn about food. Basically, we can do a lot more fun and important things during lunch than just eat and get back to bookwork. We just need an extra 15 minutes and some coordination. The prototype worked well, and feedback from students and teachers was positive. Mr. Warren Travis was thoroughly pleased. Okay, we will try out your lunch design 1 day a week to start, and if it works out, we may expand it. Yay! And what did you learn in the process? A ton! We learned to use math and science in cooking, social studies and reading and research, writing in our reports, and creative problem solving throughout the project. That is what I thought, because I have a surprise. Your class's test results just came in, and you guys did great. Woohoo! Later that year, Mr. Travis was so happy about how things turned out that he put Miss Kelly in charge as design thinker in residence. Any teacher who wanted to learn design thinking, and that was all of them, could go to her for help. Through design, the students did more than just make things. They learned how to think and how to integrate knowledge from all their other classes that otherwise would have remained trapped in their books. More importantly, they made something of value and with purpose for other people. And that made all the learning worth it.